welcome back to the last video of 2025, and I wanted to show you a couple of things because I've reviewed and unboxed a few of these things. First of all, this battery meter. It actually has a shunt or a Hall sensor, and inside here is my 27 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. And in an earlier video I showed you this was made from 18650 cells. So if we have a look in here, take this foam out, there it is. How beautiful is that pack? So it is 4S to get 12.8 volts and 18p to 30 amp BMS in there. Comes to 27 amp hours, 345 watt hours. And this is a Tactics case from Bunnings. I think it was a pretty good deal, about $30. But yeah, so showing you how I put all these three things together. So we've got the battery, we've got the case, and we've got the battery monitor. So I'll take you for a walk through it. So this case, you can actually pull out the foam bits individually. So I took some out to put the battery in nice and snug. I didn't go right in the middle, but I didn't go right off to the edge because I wanted some protection. So I could mount all the stuff and all the wires and stuff onto the right hand side. Put a little hole in here so we could fit in some accessories. First of all, obviously the Hall sensor. And we have the XT60 connection coming out from the battery, and that is only wrapped around the positive line there. So a few XT60 connection joins, all of that. There's a mini fuse here, mini blade fuse on the cigarette socket, accessory socket. And here we have the entry points of the battery monitor. And also, this is a 3D printed XT60 panel mount, as you can see there. And I like this because I find it hard to cut out little squares. So I don't mind panel mounting. There's a little hole in there to put it through, and this just kind of neatens it up. So 3D printed. Same with this. No, this will be a pain to cut out. And I'm fine with just putting a hole for the cables, and I just double-sided tape on this to hold it in, and that works fine. And in here I also have some extra fuses because you never know when you'll need them. And let's just put this back on. So that's just extra protection on top. It's a really good case, and there's padding on top there. I removed on this side so I could put my accessories. Let's close this. And on the top here we have a 12/24 volts USB sockets. This is power delivery up to 30 watts or something, and that's quick charge 3. It's also individually switched. I have a master switch for all these accessories. And this is really cool, this one, because it looks like you got to cut out that whole thing, but it's just a little round 20mm hole. So I like this one as well. I think this is rated up to 20 amps DC. There's my accessory socket there. That's really easy to drill in with a whole step bit. And this is a DC input-output jack. These can only really take up to 8 amps max. So that's why I also fit an XT60 connection for something that requires a bit more high current. And there's my kind of wiring jobs, and all insulated. Yeah, I was really happy with this. So this is really cool because it's like a portable power station. Well, it pretty much is, right? In a rugged case. So I've got my little 300 watt modified sine wave inverter, okay? And the good thing also about this battery monitor is it turns on and off depending on what's happening. So if I'm discharging, it will light up. If I'm charging, it will light up. Or I can just push a button and it will let me know the current status. So we're at 13.2 volts, 86.8%. We're at 23.4 amp hours left. So I configured this for 27 amp hours. You know, you can look at my other video to show you to find out how I set this all up. It's important to have, if you really want accurate voltage measurements or state of charge measurements on lithium iron phosphate, you need one of these because of the flat voltage curve. So what I'll show you now is I'm going to plug this 12.6 volt lithium ion charger that charge up my little battery bank here, and we will see that it will turn on. The battery monitor will, whoops, it's plugged in. Okay, it's plugged in. Okay, see it's come on, and I'm drawing minus 2.84 amps. So I have the clamp in the right direction. I also like this battery monitor because it's actually got a hall sensor, so you don't have to worry about putting in a shunt and, you know, getting it terminal bolts and cutting up wires. This one, you just put the wire through the hall sensor. I wish the clamp, though, was actually a clamp, not just a solid circle, solid object. And when I charge this, I'll show you shortly, it will obviously go positive depending on if I'm actually putting more in than I'm taking out. So when I'm charging, this goes into positive digits. So what I'll do is I'm going to finish charging this up, and then we will actually charge this baby up. Maybe we'll do it from solar. It's a really nice day outside. I just want basically test this out because I only just put it in last night. I'll leave you back in. So as you can tell, it's gone all silent because I've actually swapped out the inverter because I realized it wasn't playing well with the charger. I've put in this 400 watt pure sine wave inverter instead, and actually you can actually see it charging now. The red lights come on. And modified sine wave inverters aren't the best for sensitive type electronics. I will review this at some point in the new year. So I will get back to you. It is charging at about the same speed as well. Okay, we're at 60.8%. We are at 13 volts, 16.4 amp hours remaining. I want to drain it all the way actually to see if I can get the full or close to 27 amp hours. We're going to charge my River 2 via DC. So flick that on. We should start seeing this filler start receiving some charge. There we go. I'm not sure what current I set this on. Hopefully it's at the full 8 amps. Well, it's thinking about it. Come on, focus. 4 amps. Maybe it's only set to 4 amps. I'm going to turn it up. 1 second. Okay, I've turned it up to maximum 8 amps. And it looks like we're getting that, or just a bit over. 7.98. It's almost 100 watts. Yep, there we go. It says 1 hour is a full charge. And at this rate, this will be discharged in 2 hours. So I'll leave you back in when that's done. Alright, it did cut out. And it does say right at 0, so I guess it did work. We'll see how much we put back into it. Hopefully it's basically close to 27 amp hours. Here we've got a lithium iron phosphate charger, 14.6 volts, and this is, I think, 5 amps. Yep. So at this rate, it's going to take 5 hours and 42 minutes. That's quite a while. I will get another charger, identical one to this, and see if we can hurry it up. Okay, now I have 2 identical chargers going, and now that is almost 10 amps, so that's pretty good. 2 hours and 42 minutes to go. Do I have any other way to put power in? No, well I guess I can put like a splitter in here and feed another power source, but we'll leave it like this for now. And I'll loop you back in to see how much we actually put back into this baby. Okay, so I'm pulling power from my River 3 Plus. 158 watts coming out, 79 in from the solar. And it's only showing 120 watts this side. But I do have like a small load like this LED light from AC and that little LCD display. It's not going to be really 40 watts difference there, so there is a bit of loss in this conversion. Alright, now I'm using this inverter from my 12.6 volt lithium battery to power the charging bricks and still deliver almost 7.36 amps, so it's not quite 10 amps. Yeah, I'm going to let this thing fill it up. Might as well give this thing a cycle. So we're only about 15.5% state of charge. Okay, we are now finished. 2 green lights over there. We're at 100%, 27 amp hours, 14.6 volts. So yes, this is very accurate. I am very happy. And my 12.6 volt lithium ion ammo box, 700 watt hours. The voltage is, let's have a look, 11.4. So I think it dropped down to like 10.9 and it still wasn't beeping. So this is a pretty good inverter. And as you know, with lithium ion 3S packs, you know, the nominal voltage is about 11.1 or something. So yeah, fully charged is 12.6. So yeah, it does work, but only for a certain amount of time with some 12 volt appliances. So it's not a really good fit. 3S is slightly under, 4S is slightly over. So yeah, it's a hard one. That's why lithium iron phosphate, lead acid, 12.8 volt systems, that's what those 12 volt appliances are built for. So there we go. This is my 27 amp hour lithium iron phosphate DIY box. It's got 1860 lithium iron phosphate cells. We have an XT60 connection in and out, DC, accessory plug, power delivery USB port, and we have this really special battery monitor with Hall sensor, so we get really accurate readings. There we go. Happy New Year, and I'll catch you in 2026.